Your Excellency, according to your estimates, the islands of Kiribati may become uninhabitable by 2050 due to the rising sea levels and salination. And you've said that when it comes to climate change and Kiribati, that it's not about politics, it's not about the economics, it's about survival. So how do you, as the president of a country that is literally drowning, get the international community to sit up and take notice of this dire situation? And have you been satisfied with the international response so far?
Well, it's, as I said, it's a serious issue for us, and not many people, not many countries understand this. We need them to come and visit. I convinced the Secretary General to visit in 2011, and many more should come and visit. It's a serious issue, and how do we get people? I've been doing this for the entire period of my administration. So what I've been doing is trying to focus attention on the issue, because for me it was such a serious issue, yet nobody was focusing on it. And it meant a great deal for the future of our people. And only recently people have started talking about it, but not yet committed to doing something concrete about it. We're still playing with the words. I mean, that is over. Okay? Tomorrow, the argument to try and focus attention is over. Everybody is now talking about climate change. But what we need is concrete action to deal with the issues. Otherwise, it's all meaningless. What's happening in Paris, it's not a negotiation about the economy, what needs to be done, what it means to the economy of another country. It's about survival of people. And I'm getting that argument all the time, and to me, the answer is so simple. And to put forward the argument to say that it doesn't matter, there's only 100,000 people. That's a dangerous argument to put forward. Nobody must be left behind, because it's not of our making. So there must be responsibilities. It's got to be justice in all of this.
Okay. And earlier this year, the former Australian Prime Minister, I think you know what I'm going to ask, Tony Abbott, was caught on tape laughing at a joke about how Kiribati would soon have water lapping at its doors. Now, you and several Pacific Islanders condemned this as being morally irresponsible. Do you think anything has changed with the UN conference in Paris?
I don't think there's really a full realization by many of the people in decision-making positions on what is really happening, what it means, not only to countries like mine, but to the world at large. It's going to come down very heavily one day that it's irreversible. It's going to, the impact will be so accelerated that nothing could be done. And if anything can be done, there's be such a lot of disruption to people's lives in different parts of the world. So we've got to come to that realization very soon, that it's not a negotiable. We're not negotiating with nature. Nature does not negotiate. Okay? If it's beyond the point of no return, then it's too bad. Everything would collapse.
So for Kiribati, is it past the point of no return? Do you think even if the international community stepped up with the financial, the funding, with the technological assistance, do you still think it is too late and that we will see Kiribati going under within our lifetimes?
We will be underwater, there's no question about that. And in that respect, it's too late. The question is, can we do anything about it? And I believe it can be done, provided we have the resources. There is no doubt that technology is available. What we need is the political will to provide the resources to ensure that nations like ours do not go underwater.
And in the eventuality that Kiribati does go underwater soon, would Kiribati still have sovereign rights as a nation? What are the legal implications? Would the government still be legitimate? Would the citizens still hold their citizenship? What happens legally?
I think that's an uncharted international legal argument. It's not happened before, and it's unprecedented. There is no guidance on it, but if we are to be a part of defining that, we certainly define, our definition would be very simple. We did have sovereignty, and we would continue to have sovereignty over the waters that we had, okay? because that will be the issue. I think if it is going to be the case that those that disappear lose their rights to the exclusive economic zones, then it would become very attractive for countries to ensure that everybody goes down, and those that can will continue to remain. No, as I said, we are committed to ensuring that as a nation we will continue to exist. I mean, there are countries which are underwater. The Netherlands is underwater, but they've done something to ensure that they continue to survive. But the elevation of the land is below. And so, is their sovereignty to be questioned? I think the answer is no, because they continue to exist, even though all it needs is a crack in the wall, and they'll be underwater. Do they disappear as a nation? I don't believe so.
And do you feel that, given your experience and your knowledge of climate change politics, do you feel that there is an undercurrent of political tension and that there are actors who, would benefit from, as you said, the economic zone being more open? Do you think that there is a strong element of that at play as well?
I really want to believe that there's compassion in this world, that people have a conscience. But I also have to acknowledge that this world is made of variety, large spectrum of people. And even what is happening in Paris does indicate that there are countries who really do not care. They, as I said, they continue to bring forward their agenda. Disregarding everything else, the fact that in implementing the strategies which they think is needed to ensure that they deal with the issues, they destroy others in the process as being inconsequential. That is an immoral argument. And it should never be entertained at the international level. I think as an international community, we should be very, very careful not to allow these kind of arguments to come forward, because it poses very, very dangerous precedents.
Okay. And speaking of dangerous precedents, some critics have called your plans for your country, they've called them crazy. For example, the plans of building the man-made islands, the floating islands, and relocating and buying land in Fiji. What would you say to these critics who call these plans crazy? Do you think that they understand the true gravity of the situation?
No, I think they may be crazy, but we have a crazy situation.
Okay.
If they can come up with better alternatives, I really want to talk to those guys.
Okay.
But it's an unprecedented challenge, and the solutions are nowhere in any book, in any experience. It's a new experience. All I'm trying to do is give choices to my people, so they can make choices. How limited they are. We're not sitting in an ideal situation. Okay? What can I say? If the land is going underwater, what can I say? Do I still tell them that they will continue to stay there, that they don't leave their homes? I tell you, I have come across arguments where people say we will stay in our islands no matter what. If you're going to stay, you've got to do something about building, adapting and building resilience. If you can't get it, how can you stay on? Common sense suggests that you cannot do it. Okay? So the next best thing is build a floating island. So they are crazy. But so is the situation we're trying to deal with. And so advocating migration with dignity is the next best thing. If there is something better, we would do it.
And I imagine the youth are quite vocal as well, and I can imagine for them having grown up in Kiribati and knowing that they might have to relocate very soon. How do the youth take this?
The youth are, in fact, they're more adaptable to change. I think it's the old people that will find it more difficult. So, but I think what we want to do is actually let people make the choice. I'm not about to tell people, no, we're not going anywhere, we stay. I don't have the legal right to stop people from going. But what I do have is the responsibility to help those that want to go be prepared to go, so that they do not go and become refugees and second-class citizens. That is our responsibility.
Okay. And if I may, Your Excellency, in the case that yourself and your family do have to relocate, do you know which country you may go? Have you thought? I'm
Yes,
sure you have thought about it.
I guess that would be the choice that my children and grandchildren will have to make for themselves.
Okay.
But I will not be relocating. I don't think I will go.
So will you be like the ship's captain in Titanic, where if I shall still remain on the ship until it goes down? Or?
Yeah, because I don't think it would reach that level of. By the time I'm gone, I don't know how much longer I'll be around. But in 20 years' time, I'm sure I'll be able to survive until then. We love our way of life, and we would stay with it as much as possible. But I think for the young people, they really have to start looking at their options very closely.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for speaking to us. It's been an honor having you here. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. And it's not always a nice subject to be talking about. But,
of course. It's very difficult.
We have to be brutally realistic. We can't afford to deny what all the facts are there before us. We've got to use our common sense, okay? Not to be emotional. Okay? Avoid being emotional, because otherwise it would put people in a lot of trouble.
And the clock is ticking.
Ticking very fast, faster than anybody thinks. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much.